So I'm going to take you through this slideshow to give you some vocabulary that you'll need to know in order to do this next Scratch activity. The activity that you're going to be doing is to start building a program that makes an Etch-a-Sketch. And here on the right hand side is a picture of an Etch-a-Sketch. You use these two knobs, this knob here, let me go back, this knob here and this knob here to create a drawing. You're basically drawing on an X and Y axis. So in this activity you're going to be learning how to use arrow keys and you're going to program the arrow keys to make sprites move. Some of the vocab you need to know is axis. What is an axis? An axis is the line around which a rotating body turns, or it's the point where two lines cross each other. So the Earth has its axis that it rotates around. A bicycle tire has an axis that the tire rotates around. And then what's going to be useful for us is the coordinate grid, which has a y-axis and an x-axis, which are basically two number lines. The horizontal number line, the x-axis, at the very center point is 0. If you move to the right, you're moving positively. If you're moving to the left, you're moving in negative. And then you have the number line, which is the y-axis. If you move up, you're going positive. If you move down, you're going negative. This is going to be very useful to know for the Etch-a-Sketch. Actually, anytime you're working in Scratch, you're going to be using a y-axis and x-axis. This is what allows your sprite to move left, right, up, down, diagonally. Another word that you need to know is what are controls. Controls are what the user uses to make something happen. For example, you use a remote control to make your TV and DVD player work. You use the blocks in Scratch to control what happens in your board. And when you play video games, use a controller to control your characters on the screen. Input. The input is an action that causes something to happen. It's kind of like cause and effect. Input would be the cause. And so a keyboard, whenever you press a button on a keyboard, you're making an input and then something happens on the screen. Just like all the blocks that you put into Scratch are inputs, and they're going to cause something to happen. So you can see this arrow is pointing from input to the blocks in Scratch. The opposite of input is output. And output is the effect of an input. So input would be the cause, output would be the effect. And we can show basically the board in your Scratch program where everything happens would be your output. All those blocks that you coded together are going to create an output that happens here. So like this is a maze, the wizard is walking through the maze, the helicopter's flying through. Those are the outputs based on whatever it was that you used as your input. And so you can see the output is the game board. Also, you need to know what reset is. Reset is going to basically make you start over. And so I just put a few things, game over, well, you're going to have to restart and play again. So these are some words that you need to know in order to understand how to do this first activity in Scratch.